And we are live. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody see the screen? How are we looking? How are we doing? All right. Okay. So, we already have about 45 people in here. Pretty cool. Welcome. So, we're going to stream for a little bit here and we're going to talk about what needs to be talked about after the garbage that we put on the field today at Lumen. First home game in front of the 12s in over a year and a half, and that's what we get. So, a lot of things need to be said, a lot of things need to be talked about. But the rules are, as they always are, I plan to stream until the end of the Sunday night football game, which I am watching in the background, Ravens against Chiefs. I will reply to as many comments as I can that I feel like warrant a reply, but the chat is going to be moving so fast, there is no way I'm going to get to every comment. I'm going to miss comments. If you have a comment you really want me to read and address, then you can send it in the form of a super chat, and I am guaranteed to see it and reply to it if you do that. I am also somewhat more likely to see member comments, just because the visual for a member is different from a viewer. And I think that is about it. We have a tip jar over to my left. If you super chat, it will show up. We also have a alert box for subscribers. Andre Moultrie, welcome to the channel, buddy. Okay, so today, Seahawks come out slow, very sluggish first quarter plus, and then we got chugging, man. We had all the momentum going into the halftime. We made a lot of great plays in that second quarter. Felt like it was enough to win the game on its own, and it almost was, in fairness. We had a long touchdown to lock it. We had effectively a defensive touchdown. Defense set up the offense on an easy score. And then we had the beautiful 2-minute drive, and it felt like the game was just over there because the offense was smoking. No. After the halftime, the offense basically had one good play the whole rest of the game. The offense had one good play, and it was a broken coverage. Maybe one or two other plays you can point out. But very, very little going on there. Right, guy, thank you for the $1.99. I'll be honest, this feels like a season-ending L. It's not. That's silly. Don't think that. We can think that when it's actually time to think that, but it's not time to think that right now. That's silly. Produce section, thank you for the $5. Tough times, baby. Go Hawks. Hope this can be turned around. Yeah, and look, here's my thing. Here's my thing. The offense today, the really bad thing for me, the offense, even when it was good, was just like the Schottenheimer offense. Think about it. We had two plays of, 60-plus yards touchdowns. And we struggled to move the ball otherwise. So, boom or bust offense. That is exactly what we did under Schottenheimer. And the point of the Waldron scheme was that we were going to incorporate some things so that wouldn't have to be the case. So, I am really discouraged about that because other than that one drive right before the half, man, it was awful. Everything was either big play or nothing. Our other scoring drives in that game, other than the one right before the half, were long play to Lockett to set up the field goal, long touchdown to Lockett, long touchdown to Swain, and then the short field touchdown because of the Alton forced that fumble. So I don't know exactly who to put it on, but this offense looked just like it did last year and the year before and the year before then. And their inability to stay on the field, just going I think we went 3 and out on our last 3 possessions outside of the one that ended in the end of regulation. So I'm really discouraged about that. We looked exactly like the Schottenheimer offense, and I knew we were going to be utilizing a lot of the Schottenheimer offense this year, but I didn't see any indication that things were different this year. And I saw those indications last week against the Colts, so I don't know where it went. And honestly, as much as I want to sit here and kill this defense, because this defense is definitely worth killing, I can't, because they were playing good, and then the offense couldn't keep a drive going, and the defense got put out there for like 45 minutes. The defense was out there the whole game. We forced field goals. Yeah, we gave up a touchdown to start the third quarter, but, okay, you're going to give up a touchdown eventually, that offense. It's okay. And then we just couldn't maintain a drive. So I can't even kill this defense as much as I want to. The two things I'll kill this defense for are, I'm very disappointed in the QB pressure. We got very little QB pressure today. Tannehill had all day on most of his throws. Very disappointed in this pass rush, which is supposed to be the strength of this game. Strength of this team. And two, the prevent defense on the Titans' last touchdown drive in the fourth quarter was embarrassing. And that's a coaching thing to me. I'm putting that on the coaching. So those are my takeaways about just the game itself. And then you had the stuff outside the game. I think we had 3 or 4 personal foul penalties in this game. I think there was an unnecessary roughness or 2. I think there was a couple of tauntings. That's really disappointing to me, because that tells me that these players are not listening to Pete Carroll anymore. Because last week, DK picked up a cheap penalty, and you would think that the players at that point would go, oh, we can't do that anymore because they're going to call it very tight. And I don't care how cheap the calls are, you learn that you can't do that anymore, and then you stop doing it. And it's not holding, okay? I can live with the occasional holding penalty. I can live with the occasional false start, although that false start on Damian Lewis has me still pretty furious right now. But as adults with a human brain on your head, you should be able to go, okay, I guess I can't do this stuff anymore. I'll get over it. It's not the most important thing in the world that I'm able to yell at somebody after what is, like, a DJ Reed? What is he doing taunting Julio on the ground? He didn't do anything to force that incompletion. All he did was run behind Julio, and then the ball got overthrown. What's he celebrating for? I don't understand that stuff, and that tells me that he's not listening to Pete. Or these players in general are not well coached, and I hope we get some tyrant stuff. I want to bring in Tom Coughlin for a week to coach this team, just so these guys get chewed out for all the unacceptable mental errors they made in this game. So those are the main things that I'm taking away from this game. I'm going to go ahead and start addressing some comments now. Again, chat is moving very fast. I'm going to miss a lot of comments. If you have a comment you really want me to address, then send it in as a super chat. It'll show up in the tip jar as well. But I'm going to get to as much as I can. Their receivers had big drops all game, and then what do we do? Let Henry get a 337-yard, 3 TD game, go figure. Where did our tight ends go? Did we forget they exist? Yeah, that's the thing. The Titans' offense balled on us, and they were dropping passes left and right. They might have had 8 drops in that game. It could have been way, way worse. And yeah, I don't understand the offensive game plan at all. Like, I understand. I don't understand it, but that Titans defense, I know they played well today, and good for them. But that Titans defense might be the worst defense we play this year. It is possible that their defense is worse than any defense we will play this year. And and for us to play that badly was ridiculous. If we do not bring something significantly different, then these teams are going to start actually like holding us under 20. Do you think we win if Myers makes that PAT? Probably, but who cares? We should have won anyway. Did we hold the T's at the line because of the injuries on the line? Maybe. But the only injury we had at the start of this game was... The only injury that we had at the start of this game was Damian Lewis. And other than the penalty, I thought Damian Lewis played fine. The guy on the offensive line who sucked today was Kyle Fuller. And we kind of know he's going to suck. We looked like a completely different team against the Colts. Yeah, and look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Shane Waldron is young and he's never called plays before. We have to expect that he's going to have some bad games. But not this game. Not against that terrible Titans defense. You can't let that happen. You cannot let that happen. That is maybe the worst defense we're going to play this year. You cannot let it happen in that game. And again, I cannot kill this defense because the offense hang them out to dry. If you're looking at who to blame for this game, I'm much more apt to put this on Shane Waldron and Russell Wilson, who I think both sucked today. But for some reason, we bring in these pass rushers that we know are talented, and they stop producing here. Now, what do you think happens? I mean, just, guys, think about this logically. Think about this logically. If your team brings in a bunch of guys who have been good on other teams, like Kerry Hyder, like, I guess Carlos Dunlap. I know we traded for him last year, et cetera, but and then they don't look good, and they looked good where they came from. Did they forget how to play football, or are they just not being used properly? What do you think is more likely? Did Carlos Dunlap forget how to play football, or is there something in the scheme that isn't working for him? Jamal Adams, no impact plays, just cardio running around and shit. Well, I don't need Jamal Adams to make impact plays every game, but I do need him to not get completely owned by Derrick Henry on that 60-yard touchdown pass. Like, give me a break. How did Wilson suck? It was all or nothing. He took some sacks he didn't need to take. He missed Lockett on third down. On the field goal drive at the start of the game. Honestly, he was just pretty inaccurate overall. Like, that, on second down in overtime, he throws up a pass, and he overthrows Metcalf by about 5 yards. And I know Metcalf was pretty well covered, but you got to throw it up and let him go up and get it. That's DK's strength as a player. You got to go with that. DK has more penalties than TDs. Yeah, he needs to chill out. He does need to chill out for sure. I can tolerate some amount of idiocy from my players, but he's starting to cross the line. And if he cannot learn how to control himself, then we have a real problem. Yeah, we took the best aspects of the Seahawks, or I'm sorry, the worst aspects of the Seahawks from 2020 and played that today. Trey Flowers was embarrassing today. No, Trey Flowers was fine. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys love to hate Trey Flowers, but Trey Flowers was not the problem today. Okay? There is a tacit agreement. Okay? There is a tacit agreement between this pass rush and the corners. Okay? The pass rush plays well and the corners hold up enough. The pass rush gave us very little today, so Flowers gets beat a few times. Okay, like, that's the deal. Don't get mad at Flowers when he gets beat when we don't get any pass rush. Get mad at the pass rush. Flowers is just a scapegoat. Just like, honestly, Ken Norton will be a scapegoat. We're going to fire Ken Norton at some point, maybe, and it's really just a scapegoat for Pete because this is Pete's defense. Okay, Pete is playing a game of Survivor, basically. Pete is playing a game of Survivor with Norton. He can use Norton to buy himself another year. Produce section, thank you for the $5. It was good to run off the high of week 1. However, the current loss opens up more questions that we need to track going forward seriously. Flowers gave up 102 yards on 4 catches. Okay. That's not what lost this game. Pete needs to go. We need a change. I feel like that's the inevitable outcome of all this. Why did we not use our tight ends this game? I don't get it. And if anybody wants to say that it was because we left our tight ends into block, I don't want to hear that because Wilson still got pressured on 80% of his dropbacks. I don't want to hear it. And I'll say it again. The defense that we played today was bad. That is a bad Tennessee Titans defense. Honestly, you should be able to drop a ton of points on them even with a lackluster game plan. So you got to put some of this on the players too. Wilson missed some of his passes. The offensive line didn't hold up well. Fuller especially got bullied, I think. So you got to put some of this on the players. Bring back cornerback Will Sunderland. At this point, the players you can get are not going to help. The die is cast. Could we still potentially win the division? Chrissy, why are you even asking that right now? Why even talk about that right now? It's week 2. We just had a devastating loss. Like, get out of here with that weak garbage, man. How did Freddie Swain look good today? I mean, he had one big catch on a broken play. Did he do much of anything? I guess he did a little bit other than that, but I mean, that was a busted coverage. I don't know. Yeah, Geno Atkins maybe could help a little bit, but penalties play. Mr. Dexmo, stop spamming the same comment over and over. Stop. Okay, I see your comment. I'm just not addressing it because there's nothing to say other than you're right. I mean, it's obviously the case. Stop spamming the same comment, please. No more excuses for Flowers. His coverage does factor in our losses. Come on now. I'm not saying Trey Flowers is great, but that's not why we lost. And I'm sorry, there is a tacit agreement between our pass rush and our corners. If the pass rush doesn't get there, then our corners are going to give up plays. Okay? It is what it is. That was the deal that we made when we decided not to really address corner this offseason. If we had addressed corner, we probably don't get the pass rush. And well, clearly today the pass rush was not really there. Most of Wilson's short pass metrics showed him passing outside the hashes. He still struggles short and over the middle. Yeah, and I knew it wasn't going to happen immediately. I knew it wasn't going to happen immediately with him because everything's a process and you got to learn. But it was definitely frustrating today because this looked like the Vikings game last year where the Titans just took away his deep stuff after a while and he could do nothing else. Stay on an even keel. Don't get too down from this loss. I mean, I'm not super down. I'm not. I mean, that losing a game where you're up by 2 scores in the fourth quarter is embarrassing. I understand that. I also understand that it's a long season. We have a chance to get better. But the thing that really aggravates me, is that Metcalf got a cheap flag last week for taunting, and then we taunt again this week. Like, you should learn. That should be a learning process where you go, okay, I guess I can't do this anymore. Well, Arizona kind of fluked that win. Minnesota missed a chip shot that would have won the game with no time left. Do you think DK's upcoming contract is affecting his antics? I don't know. Maybe. What happened to Chris Carson? Honestly, there weren't that many holes for him to run through. I don't know how that Titans defense pulled together a game plan like that, but they played well. But I don't understand how we allow that to happen. Our offense has enough talent to where the Titans' defense should not be able to play that effectively. The taunting call was kind of BS. Okay, maybe. But you know what? He didn't do anything on that play. He got beat by Julio, and then the pass was overthrown. Okay? So don't flex like you did something. You think DK can bounce back? Of course he can. Of course he can. Full back for Chris Carson to mix up the launch. I don't have an opinion of that. It's whatever. If DK isn't a fit with Waldron's offense, we should really consider selling high on him. I wonder how high is high. But he needs to get it together. Like, you have to have some emotional control of yourself. You have to have some 2 first rounders. I would do it, but we need to get a new GM who can actually use first rounders because we can't. I agree. It's way too early to panic, but if we can't beat the Titans at home with a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter, I agree with that in a general sense, sure. But at the same time, I also understand that the team that we are right now is nothing like the team that we're going to have at the end of the year. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, we don't know. But these teams that you're watching right now are going to have very little in common with what they do at the end of the year outside of the really, really elite teams and the really, really bad teams. You know, I hate to be the guy who points this out. Did Wilson let the emotions of losing one of his best friends get to him and let that affect his play? He missed some throws. I don't think he played terrible. I don't think it was awful or anything. Not sure what happened to the bear front scheme. We were running it pretty much all day, as near as I could tell, Michael. It just, we were sending bad blitzes. Like, we were sent. I think Jamal Adams blitzed like 13 or 14, 15 times today. Like, stop. Just stop. Let him just play like a normal safety. Yes, blitz him sometimes, but right now, you're just sending him into a big wash. And I understand you're not getting pressure with 4, but you're not getting pressure with 5 or 6 either. So you may as well just play off. Russell played well with a trash O-line and terrible scheme. Yeah. I'm an avid Bobby hater the past few years, but I thought he played well. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the way Bobby played. We were stopping the run until near the end of the game. We were stopping the run. And then the game just... And then it just kind of got out of hand as the game went on. Yeah, he missed Lockett on that play, Michael. You're absolutely right. Kirk Cousins played better. Well, Kirk Cousins played great today. I mean, that's not even an insult. Kirk Cousins played really well today. This O-line ain't changing any this season. We can't control the line of scrimmage and we're dead in the water without that. Well, the players we have just need to play better. We're not getting anybody better than what we have right now. WTF was Collier playing, though? He actually made one play. He actually did make one play in this game, so I guess I can live with that. But how does Al Woods be one of our few guys who got a sack? Al Woods has like 2 career sacks. I swear to God, he's not a pass rusher. Why is he the one who gets a sack? How does that happen? You've got guys like Dunlap and Kerry Hyder and Darrell Taylor. You've got like dedicated pass rushers on your team, guys who are there to rush the passer. And freaking Al Woods is the guy who gets a clutch sack. What the heck? Did Darrell Taylor have any pressures? I didn't see any, but he might have had one. Taylor disappeared this game. Yeah, I'm not going to pick on Taylor, though, because he is basically a rookie. I'll pick on Dunlap before I pick on Taylor. Dunlap's a veteran. Dunlap needs to be showing up pretty much every game. Kerry Hyder is a veteran. He needs to show up more. Poona Ford just got paid. He needs to show up. And it's also killing me. I'm seeing these offenses start to go for it on fourth down more, which is something that I absolutely approve of. God damn, I wish some of these coaches, especially our coach, would make decisions that increase your team's chances of winning, even if they're not conventional. Like, am I crazy? Okay, listen to what I'm about to say here, and let me know if I'm talking crazy. When it was 4th and 6, after Damian Lewis picked up that false start, and it was 4th and 6, should we have gone for it anyway? Shouldn't we have gone for it anyway? Because if you get it, then you can drain the clock and win. If you don't get it, then Tennessee scores faster, and you get the ball back with time to go win the game anyway. Like you hear what I'm saying? Even if you don't get it, at least you're going to give up the touchdown with a couple minutes left. Like, I want to. The thing is, if you do that, and you lose, then Carroll gets the blame. The coaches get the blame because they went for it. But now the players get the blame. So I don't know. I don't know. It's just something that really bugged me in this game. I remember thinking to myself, we still should go for it because our defense can't stop them either way. That missed kick from Myers haunted us. Well, yeah, I think we were going to go for it when it was 1 yard. But I think I would have gone for it on 4th and 6, too. Like, who cares if you don't get it? You'll give up a touchdown, but you're going to give up a touchdown anyway. And if you give up a touchdown then, at least you have more time. Like, another great example of that was the Titans' last drive of the fourth quarter, the last touchdown drive. We are giving up checkdowns over the middle for 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards a pop. And all we're doing is allowing the Titans to have absolute control over the clock. So they're going to score a touchdown for free, basically, because we're giving them the checkdown, and they get to drain the clock all the way down. Why don't you play aggressively and take away the check down? That way, even if you give up the touchdown, there's more time left, and maybe you stop them. Maybe you make a play. Maybe you take the ball away. Like, this is just... I'm going to make a video about this tomorrow. I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying concede them a touchdown. I'm saying take a chance. Maybe you make a play, take the ball away. Maybe you get a stop because you're not giving them free 5 yards. If you're giving them a free 5 yards on every play, they're going to score a touchdown anyway. You're basically conceding the touchdown just 5 yards at a time. It's little things like that I feel like coaches do these things. I feel like coaches do these things because they know that even if they lose, they won't get blamed. The players get blamed. But if they do something crazy and lose, that's the thing with like Bill Belichick. He's not afraid of that. Do you guys remember the 4th and 2 game in 2009 with the Patriots where he went for it on 4th and 2? Where he went for it on 4th and 2 against the Colts when they were deep in their own territory, when they could have punted? It's famously known for like it's famously called the 4th and 2 game, where Belichick went for it and got killed by the media the whole rest of the season because everyone thought it was awful. But he's not afraid of that. He's like, I don't care. I've won 3 Super Bowls. At that time, he had won 3 Super Bowls. He's like, okay, go ahead and blame me. I don't care. I'm not going to get fired. And I think this gives us the best chance to win. And he was right. Now, they ended up losing the game anyway, but he felt like that gave him the best chance to win. And I just wish that Carroll had that level of confidence where he could just go, I'm just going to do what I think gives us the best chance to win, even if it's unconventional. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of comments about Trey Flowers in the chat. I'm not going to address each one individually because that would be a waste of time. But I'm sorry, I think you guys are missing this. Trey Flowers is the punching bag. Trey Flowers is just the scapegoat, I feel like, for everything else. Because Trey Flowers, this is not his fault. Trey Flowers, we know what he is. He is an okay cornerback who needs a good pass rush backing him up. And today he did not have that. He had a good pass rush against the Colts, and he gave up 28 yards in coverage. And by the way, today he's playing one of the greatest receivers in NFL history. Like, what do you want? Okay, I know he's not good, but he's what you're getting in terms of a per dollar value is really good with Flowers. Sorry. Was Julio's catch at the back of the end zone a touchdown? I guess not. They ruled it wasn't a touchdown, and you could see his heel hit the white, so I guess it wasn't, but I don't know. It was really close. And Trey Flowers is a fifth round pick who converted a converted safety who was picked in the fifth round. They can't all be Deion Sanders. Sorry. We're getting way more than what we invested into Trey Flowers. Should we sign Sherman? He's not going to be better than what we have. Did Monet play? No, he was inactive. He got injured. And maybe that was part of the problem. I don't know. But it's hard for me to believe that Monet is that good. Monet is not Aaron Donald. You don't lose him and just suddenly you fall off a cliff. That's not okay. Okay. So, oh, the Hawk's Nest is live. Shoot, I kind of didn't want to overlap with him, but we don't have a choice. So it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. Yeah. Okay, Hawk's Nest is live, so unfortunately we're overlapping right now. I didn't want to do that, but it is what it is. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Some people, not too many people, but a few people in the stream were like saying, how can you say don't overreact and then after one loss say fire Pete? I've wanted Pete kind of out of here since 2019. That's the difference, okay? Me overreacting would be saying fire Waldron. No, I don't want to fire Waldron. I understand that he's young and needs to learn, that he's going to go through some growing pains. Okay, I get that, but guys like Norton and Carroll have obviously needed to go for a while, in my estimation. Now, Carroll's not going anywhere no matter what. That's fine. Whatever. I get it. We can complain about it, but we know he's not going to go. But you could really get rid of Norton very reasonably. And honestly, I think that Norton is just Pete's patsy. But if you get him out of there now, then maybe that doesn't work. What was KJ going to do in that game? We already didn't have a pass rush. Robert Kimdichie actually did do a couple decent things. Nothing special, but if you're actually like getting mad at Kimdichie for this game, I think you're missing it. Maybe the penalty. Oh yeah, David. That made me mad too. That was like the most predictable thing ever. They knew exactly what was coming. Yeah, Bobby played fine today. It's not a Bobby thing. I liked when Wilson prevented a safety. Was it just me, or was that a safety? I don't know how that wasn't ruled a safety, but that looked like a safety to me. Anything wrong with DK? Well, mentally maybe. Maybe there's something wrong with him mentally. I don't think Brooks got benched. Maybe he got benched for a couple of plays. Was Disley out today? I don't know. I didn't see him, but I'm pretty sure he played. Yeah, Russ holds onto the ball too long. I don't think that was a huge problem today. I'm somebody who blames quarterbacks when quarterbacks get pressured too much, but today that offensive line was weak. And we didn't give him any hot routes. Like, where did it go from last week, man? I saw us starting to use those little check downs and dump off stuff last week where if there's pressure, Wilson can get the ball out quickly. I saw none of that today. Thoughts on Lockett so far? I mean, thank God you have him. I did see that, Wavy. All right, guys, we are about 40 minutes in. We have about 150 people in here. Thank you to everybody for showing up. Misery loves company. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. We have channel memberships open. As you can see, we've already hit our September goals, but we're still trying to get more always. And we also have a tip jar open for your donations. We need a center. Man, see, this is the kind of stuff that makes you have trust issues. Because Carroll keeps saying, oh, this guy's good. Oh, that guy's good. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. This guy's good. That guy's good. And then they don't show it on the field in actual games. Do you still think we should fire Pete? I've thought that for years, but I also understand it's not happening right now. We have to be real. We have to be real about this team. And Pete probably has, unfortunately, Pete probably has his job for life. Yeah, Washi, I'm going to talk about that in a video tomorrow, I think. Dan Quinn has a job in Dallas produce section, I think. What's it going to take to fire Pete? I don't think Pete will ever get fired. I think he'll step down when it becomes clear that it's time to do so. Yeah. Could have been Creed Humphrey. Could have been David Andrews. Could have been Ted Karras. Could have been something. Could have been something that wasn't just, oh, let's just run it back with this guys we had last year, you know? It could have been anybody competent. I know David Andrews isn't amazing, but he would have been fine for a couple years. Ted Karras, Matt Skura, got a couple other guys like Nick Martin. They would have been better than this. And it would have been fine. And it would have been cheap. I don't understand why we decided to just run it back. The Posick thing I'm okay with because he's cheap. And we know he can be good under the right circumstances. But that you can't bet on that. You can't have that like be the only thing that you have. Well, look, if you give it time, give it time. If DK can just chill out, his numbers will come. I know he's impatient because he wants to put up monster numbers and try to win a Super Bowl this year. And try to get a massive contract this offseason, but he needs to let that come naturally. And if he's not willing to do that, then that's when the problem starts. If he wants to pick up a dumbass penalty every now and then after a touchdown where he goes and messes with like the camera or whatever, then it's stupid, but I can live with that. But I cannot live with this stuff. Yeah, David. Everett, 1 catch for 3 yards. Disley not targeted. And the explanation had better not be. The explanation had better not be we were leaving our tight ends in coverage the whole game because are in protection the whole game because it didn't work because Wilson was getting pressured constantly. Did Waldron call plays? I would hope so, but it didn't look like it. Thoughts on the run game? Yeah, we couldn't run the ball, and they had no Jayon Brown. They had no Jayon Brown, and we couldn't run the ball. That's awful. Inexcusable. Unacceptable. No, Vrabel was never going to go for two there. Vrabel's not that kind of coach, and they didn't need to. Yeah, yeah. Um, he needs to go. Carroll had better spend this week in like Tom Coughlin mode, just like these players are not going to cost us games with discipline problems anymore. I want Pete Carroll to turn into Tom Coughlin this week until these players understand that you can't do that anymore. And Marcus Overly, stop spamming the same comments over and over, please. I'm not replying to them because I have nothing to say to them. It's not because I didn't see it. Cool off. Just show that Wilson limits the offense. He, for some reason, can't sustain long drives, deep ball, and nothing else. I mean, if I were to say something like that, that's me jumping the gun. Because it's a brand new scheme, brand new coordinator. I'm willing to. I understand that bad games are going to happen. Not this game. Can't be this game. You can't have this game be a bad game because it's one of the worst defenses you're going to play against. Where's my phone? Okay, hold on one second, guys. Hmm. I don't think that DJ Reed penalty should have been called. Maybe not, but it got called. It got called, and how do you feel about Julio overturned touchdown? I guess his heel hit the back of the white line, so okay. Yeah, Brandon Shell got hurt, but it didn't look terrible. Uh, some people were saying that Gabe Jackson got hurt, which I did not see, but maybe he did. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if we don't win next week, then you're going to be in such a hole in this division. Like, forget about it. DK looked like he got injured, maybe, but I don't know. A lot of times that kind of stuff is just really minor. Oh man, I don't know. I'm just really, like I said, I wasn't angry after that game. Somehow, I was not that angry after that game. Just really, really disappointed. Freddie Swain had a 70-yard catch on a busted coverage. Like, don't put the anointing oil down. Yeah, he's doing some nice things for who he is as a player, but he's not the real deal yet. I didn't see Brooks get benched. Possibly. It's too early for me to say that, Governor Party Tits. Um, it's possible, but I'm not going to say that right now. That would be me overreacting on something that I already said I was not going to overreact on. Now, I'm not overreacting when I talk about Carroll and Norton because they've been here forever. Thoughts on Jamal Adams today? I don't think he played very well. It was mostly that one play against where he whiffed on Henry, but it's an ugly play. I thought Wagner played fine today. I don't know if he played amazingly, but he did fine. I didn't see anything too bad from Dwayne Brown. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of worried about Dunlap's age. I have to admit, I was a little concerned about Dunlap's age when we re-signed him. I was like, we have to re-sign him, but yeah. Yeah, the offense today looked exactly like it did under Schottenheimer. That's the part where the pain comes in for me. Well, Marcus, you do understand that the front office doesn't listen to me, right? The front office doesn't know I exist. Okay? And I think I just lost in fantasy because of Travis Kelsey, so I mean, I don't even really care about that right now, but yeah. Alton needs to play more. I do like Alton a lot. He's really good. He did some awesome stuff so far this season, but yeah, Dunlap needs to not be washed up. If Dunlap is washed up, then that's a big problem. Of course, we should have won, Kyle. We had a two-score lead in the fourth quarter. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't think Pete will ever get fired. I think he will be told to step down. Um, who would we replace Pete with? Well, the plan would be Waldron. Probably can't do that right now because he's so young, but whatever. If you do fire Pete, then it's not going to happen right now. It's going to happen after the season. Yeah, DK does need to cool off. He does need to learn. And, he is really young. We've seen players before. I mean, remember how stupid Doug Baldwin was for a while? Remember how stupid Doug Baldwin was early in his career? And he got right. He figured it out. So it does happen. You just got to learn how to channel the energy a little bit better. Oh, Pete Carroll definitely was a great coach at one point, but he's old now, and the game kind of passed him by. And there's no shame to it. There's no shame to it. The game passes you by. Very few people are able to keep up and adjust. Think Jody would ever sell the team? Maybe. Yeah, I don't think we can put this one on the refs at all. I can't think of any way we can put this on the refs. Remember, the taunting call on DJ Reed ended in a fourth down stop. So that's not where we lost the game. How do you become a channel member? You click the join button down below, or hold on, I'll grab the link for you. Um, I'll grab the link for you, Marcus. Okay, I just posted the link in chat. That should work, and you should be able to join from there. Yeah, the 49ers don't look great, but I'd rather be in their position right now than ours. That's for sure. I just cannot comprehend the stupidity of staying in that prevent on the final drive. All you're doing is giving the Titans complete control of everything. They get to control the clock. They get to control how fast they move down the field. You're basically just giving them 5 yards every play. Can't you do something? Can't you do something different? Can't you do something? Maybe you give up the long touchdown, but maybe you get a stop. Maybe you get a turnover. You're never going to get a turnover if you just sit back and prevent and give them 5 yards for free every play. Like, this seems like such common sense to me. Daniel, I think you start doing that as this season goes on. I've already said it, and I'm going to say it again. I'm not going to kill this offense right now. Okay, I will a little bit today because that was a terrible defense we were playing. But in general, I'm not going to judge this offense until the end of the season because I understand it's a brand new scheme. Yeah, the offensive line really disappointed me today because that was a toothless pass rush we were playing today. That Titans pass rush is not good. And we got whipped. Well, no, bro, it's not bend but don't break. It's bend then break. We're bending and then we're breaking. So, what's the point? Now, I understand early in the game it was working, but at the end of the day, at the end, we gave up two late touchdowns to let them back in. So we bent, and then we broke. Um, Other than the penalty, which was really bad, Daniel, I don't think Damian Lewis was terrible today. I didn't get that sense. Was maybe there was something going on in that game that I didn't notice, but I didn't think he played terrible. Washi, you need to calm down, man. You need to chill out. Yeah, it was an out of conference opponent, but it was also like, okay, the Titans are probably a good team, but we know they have a bad defense because of what Arizona did to them. So for that defense to look that good against our offense is really disheartening. God damn it, Frog. And the thing is, okay, I here's the thing, and this isn't totally fair. It isn't totally fair for me to say this, but to a certain extent, yeah, the defense needed to go win the game today. The offense wasn't helping them. The defense needed to go win the game. Okay, then go win the game. Like make a play. Like the defense is the side with the veterans. The defense is the side that we put a bunch of money into. Da 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 da. I I don't want to use time of possession as an excuse for all of it because I already said the defense is going to have to bail out the offense some this year, and they didn't do it. Yeah, Mike, but that's not. I mean that's not why we lost. That was such a small part of the whole. I'm not even mad about it. Marcus, I posted it in the chat. Marcus, I posted the link in the chat. Marcus Overly. I'll do it one more time, but I posted the link in the chat like 5 minutes ago. There it is again. Click that link and you can join. Well, I thought Jamal played fine in that first game. You don't need to be a massive impact player all the time. Just do your job. Today, though, he didn't do his job. He gave up the 60-yard run to what's his face, Henry. Uh, uh, I mean, right now it does feel like the end of the world. Right now it feels like the end of the world. I understand that. We still have a lot of season in front of us, but in this division, you can't afford to be doing this kind of stuff. Michael, I posted it above in the chat. Scroll up a little bit, look for my comment in the chat. I posted the link there. Yeah, Samvith, but he's not going to have a massive impact in every game. And the defense played great against the Colts. Produce section, welcome to the membership club, buddy. Welcome to the elite membership club. No, Marcus, click the link. Or you can scroll down and click the join button. There's also a link in the video description. Right now, we do look like the worst team in the division, but the good thing is there are only 2 games. Well, I posted it in chat twice, so that's really weird, and it seems like produce section could find it. Look in the video description. There should be a link in there. That's all I can tell you guys. Yeah, we keep playing that soft zone. We keep playing that soft zone. And what blows my mind is that we went into a prevent defense when we were only up 1 touchdown with several minutes left. How do you donate? You hit the $ symbol next to the chat. Kronos 10,009. Welcome to the membership club, buddy. Basic membership. Thank you, Kronos 10,000 1009. Appreciate it. I mean, there are times when you can play a prevent defense and it's fine. There are times, but not in that situation. All you're doing is giving all the control of the game to the Titans. My favorite movie is Goodfellas, by the way. Somebody asked that earlier. My favorite movie is Goodfellas. Yeah, we got to stop blitzing so much. I understand we're not getting pressure with Ford, but we're not getting pressure with our blitzes either. And the blitzes just leave us in a bad state. But goddamn, I think Schottenheimer was really proud of the game we played today. I think he was really happy with the way we played this game. I will be right back, guys. I got to step out for a second here. I got to go run upstairs. Okay, I'm back. You know one thing that makes me happy right now though? We got we've had close to 200 people in this chat earlier. We have 125 right now. And very few people are blaming Myers for missing the extra point. We are an educated fan base right now in some regards. Not every regard, but at least we all have the good sense to know that Myers missing an extra point didn't matter that much. Well, Washi, the Rams defense today was very much bend don't break because they gave up a ton of long drives to the Colts that ended in 0 points. Yeah, Nolan, I don't watch those things because they make me mad. I don't watch those things because with Pete, we've already heard it all, right? Like Pete always says the same crap. Mahomes just threw the stupidest interception of his life. Vikings, TJ. Yeah, David. The Rams defense is giving up a ton of yards and then they don't give up points. Thoughts on Gardner Minshew? What? What about Gardner Minshew? Hey, haircut. Welcome to the stream. I just can't believe how badly we reverted from last week to this week, though. And that Colts defense is better. That Colts defense is way better than the Titans defense, is the crazy thing. And we can't blame weather because I don't think it rained at the game today, or am I crazy? Is Sidney Jones better than Trey Flowers? We have no way of knowing. What good can you take away from this game? Lockett is still the man. Yeah, exactly, Kronos. I want to kill this defense so badly, but I can't. Do you think they should give Sidney and John a chance at corner? Oh, they'll get a chance either way, for sure. Yeah, exactly, DracuB. It doesn't make any sense. That Titans team might be better than the Colts, but they have a much worse offensive line and they have a much worse defense. Gilmore's injured, guys. Stop talking about Gilmore. If you trade for Gilmore, he's not going to be able to play for at least another month, possibly more. Yeah, y'all are too happy. Y'all are too happy to dump on Trey Flowers. Y'all got to chill. That's not the problem, especially not today. Yeah, Wagner played fine today, but that doesn't mean anything if he's just giving up a bunch of 5 yard completions. because that's all the Titans were trying to get because they wanted to run the clock down. Michael Centalonza, thank you for the $5 super chat, buddy. One of my longtime best members and viewers. Here's the problem. Our soft cover 3 zone is only successful if we get a pass rush. Our opponents know this and continuously call quick passes, which negate any chance of our rushers reaching the QB. Right. So at a certain point, you have to force them into bad situations. And capitalize on it. And right now, we're not doing. Today, we didn't do that. Oh, okay, Marcus. I see. You might be able to send me via PayPal. I have a PayPal link in the video description. That's how a lot of my overseas viewers donate to me. Dennis Holmes, welcome to the membership club, buddy. You have another member. Welcome. For the most part, this game was just a toss-up. No, it wasn't. We were in complete control of that game at halftime. And honestly, we were in control early in the fourth. I don't agree with that. No, I don't think that, right, guy. Jamal's still playing hard. He just made 2 bad plays today. The touchdown to Henry and the penalty in overtime. You know, I thought about that, David, but watching the play, I am pretty sure that the Titans were bringing a blitz, and if he tried to hang around to get a Hail Mary off, it would have just gotten a sack. So I think that was actually a good idea. Oh, Daniel, I've been ready to let Pete go for 3 years or 2 years, over 2 years, but I know it's not happening. So I don't see the point in me talking about it very much. That's why I don't. It's like talking about how Pete Rose should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Yeah, I can talk about it all day, but it's never going to happen. So why would I waste my time? Oh, yeah, Waldron was terrible today, Michael, but I can chalk that up to a learning experience. I can't give Ken Norton the learning experience pass because he's been around for a while. He should be above things like this at this point, if he's ever going to be. Surprised Wilson didn't take off and run more. I mean, not really a lot of opportunities. I mean, the Titans' defense probably did play a little bit over his head, but I don't think that's a good excuse. Plazda, if we do that, then I might just have to go take the L for everybody and go to the next Seahawks home game and run onto the field and go for Ken Norton's ACL. I might just have to take the I might just have to take the L for everybody. Like, if anything, we should be blitzing less. Oh, haircut. I mean, I'll I said in my video that the only things I'm mad at the defense for, I'm mad at the defense for 2 things in this game: no pass rush or very little pass rush, and going into prevent up 1 touchdown with 3 minutes left. But yeah, Waldron and the offense completely hung them out to dry. I have no problem saying that. I agree with that. I just I don't think that's a valid excuse for getting so little production out of this pass rush against backup offensive linemen. nolanrvance, thank you for the $10 bail money. Okay, well, we're maybe 1% of 1% of the way there. I just think Pete has too much say on the offense and defense. Possibly. Possibly. Yeah, exactly, Michael. I feel like I feel like Pete Carroll is playing a game of Survivor. I feel like Pete Carroll's playing a game of Survivor where if the defense does badly this year, he's just going to go, "Oh, it was all Norton's fault. Get Norton out of here." And I'll fix it. Like get Norton out of here. It's all his fault. I'll fix it. And then he gets another year. It's like a game of Survivor where you're just trying to stay alive for one more year. Because if he fires Norton now, then he can't use that. No, Krunks. I think that's a terrible idea. Yeah, you got to just rush four and figure out ways to get pressure with four or fire people. Yeah, absolutely. We got so lucky that AJ Brown decided he didn't feel like playing good today. They left more points out there than we did. Yeah, the defense played great in the first half. No beef with that. But at the same time, like, you have to, even early in the game, they weren't getting good pass rush. Lamar, interception on the 2 point conversion. No. All right, Marcus, thank you. Yeah, I think Michael, I think Pete was hoping that we could save our timeouts for when we had the ball, but it didn't work out. It did not work out at all. Damn, Marcus, thank you. Wow. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that. Levi, you know there's more to football than sacks, right? Wilson was getting pressured constantly. Tannehill barely got pressured at all. Is Julio washed or was it coverage? No, Julio's not washed. He's not in his prime. The Saints looked awful today, by the way. What happened there? What's up with what does it say about the Packers? I'll let Marcus say if he wants to say washy. I'm not going to say it though. Well, Daniel, Pete's just going to say to himself. Pete's just going to say to himself, it's the offense's fault. It's not the defense's fault. The defense did fine. That's what he's going to say to himself. He's going to say it's the defense did what they needed to do and the offense couldn't sustain, which there is some truth to that, but it's missing the point. Well, we did probably need to run the ball a little bit more today, if we're perfectly honest. I don't think that's why we lost, but we probably could have run the ball a little bit more than we did, given that we had a lead for most of the game. Pete's trusted because he's won a Super Bowl. It's that simple. Sean Payton won a Super Bowl 12 years ago, and he's still a demigod in New Orleans. And even though they haven't gotten back to the Super Bowl since then, he still basically has a job for life. The Saints have done some stupid stuff with Payton, too, to blow seasons. Yeah, we probably could have run Carson a little bit more, although Carson wasn't getting much, and Collins had one good carry. I think it was the only carry he had, so. Yeah, maybe Daniel, but I think we could have done it a little bit more than we did. I'm not saying it has to be perfectly balanced, but I think we got away from it a little more than we needed to. And usually I don't say things like that. Produce section, thank you for the $5. What if all the other NFL coaches blind vote on Pete Carroll's efficacy and progression as a head coach now and future forecast? What if we had this data? Well, I think a lot of other NFL head coaches respect Carroll and think he's good because he does certain things that they value that I think are overrated. Yeah, Marcus Overly, if you want to tell Washi what you gave, then you can go ahead and do that, but I'm not going to say it just in case you want to keep it private. I don't know, Zach, but it happened. You know, the day when we let Pete Carroll go, I'm probably going to make a video thanking him for all he did, but goddamn will I be thrilled to try something new, even if it doesn't work. Even if it doesn't work, I would be excited to do something new. Now, the good news is I did think we were going to lose to the Titans before the season started, so obviously things are not over, but that was a very annoying way to lose a game. Michael, I wonder. I wonder. I think the team will allow him to if he wants to. No problem, Marcus. Don't worry about it. You did very well. I appreciate it. But I'm going to make a prediction here and say that Titans defense is going to be really bad again this year. I think that Titans defense is going to be really bad this year, and they're going to look back at this game as one of their best games this year, and that sucks. Hey, QC Bible. We expected to win too, but good job. And good luck the rest of the way. You guys should win that division now. Should we give Sidney Jones the start next week? I don't think the corners were that bad today, so I don't really care. Well, Levi, they really gave up 23 because 7 of those points were on a short field. But the nice thing is, games in the NFL, for the most part, are one-offs. Teams do not look the way they looked in every game. Like, look at the Saints. The Saints looked like the greatest team in the world last week. This week, look at them. They're getting blown out by the Sam Darnold Panthers. You know? So we can come back next week and we can look like a completely different team. It can happen. And it won't be odd at all. I don't think the Vikings are going to have an offense that good the rest of the season. They scored like 33 points and could have easily scored more. So I understand that. Oh, yeah, yeah, Daniel. I don't think this loss is good for Waldron because it's such a bad defense he lost to, but I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm not going to get mad at Waldron until the end of the season, if maybe not even then, because he's young in the game. Why the heck was Mayo on the field so much over Taylor? Maybe we trust him more because he's a veteran. I don't know. I don't like that. We got 125 people in this chat right now about. Thank you everybody for coming out. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. Become a channel member by clicking the join button down below for $2 or $5 a month to gain access to perks. And we take donations in the form of super chats or PayPal's. Super chats go in the tip jar over there. I was literally I was shocked that we couldn't get pressure against backup offensive linemen in that game. When I heard Taylor Lewan was out and then Roger Saffold went out, I was like, oh, well, okay, I know what's going to happen here. And it didn't happen at all. Why did the team come out flat in the third quarter again for the second straight week? Well, opposing defenses make adjustments, and that's understandable, but you got to be ready with the counter, and it seems like we're not. What do you think is the best way for us to get pressure without blitzing too many of our guys? It's it's just you need the guys up front to win their battles. Period. Such a gross feeling right now, though. I mean, how many years in a row can we have a defense that is anywhere from average to abysmal, and then you don't look at your defense first head coach and go, okay, how long are we gonna have to deal with this crap? Ugh. That's true, David. I did think about that. I did kind of think about that. Yeah, Michael, I know Fuller had a terrible game, which doesn't surprise me because Fuller is terrible. Shell, I'm gonna have to look at the tape on that one. I didn't notice anything good or bad from Shell. I'll have to watch that back, but there was a lot of pressure throughout the game. Yeah, DK needs to calm down, and maybe he will, maybe he won't. I'm willing to put up with some BS, but right now it's too much BS. Huh. Well, there you go, David. Yeah, it's not fun to think about, Michael. We'll see what we hear from about Shell later this week, but goddamn. We knew Shell was going to get hurt. Shell always gets hurt. Charles Knopp, welcome to the channel. Like, Shell always gets hurt, so you got to plan for that. Okay, I agree, Daniel, but if the league says you can't do it, then don't do it. Don't do it and then complain about the fact that you got flagged after. Okay? I mean, if okay, you're playing in the NFL's league. They get to tell you what the rules are, and it's on you to obey those rules, even if you think the rule is stupid. If Roger Goodell comes out with a rule next year that after every timeout, every player on both teams has to crap their pants, then yeah, that's stupid. But if that's the rule, then you better do it. Like, just celebrate after you get to the sideline. Hilo Cowboys, who are you? Have I ever seen you in here before? What are you doing in here? I don't know. Is Jamarco. Jamarco Jones has been terrible in the past. Maybe he'll be better. I don't know. I liked him a lot when we drafted him, and then it just never really worked out. But I would have said the same thing about Rasheem Green, and this might be his breakout year. I mean, the taunting penalty was soft, but they're cracking down on that stuff now. So you got to stop it. Yeah, it's bullcrap, but I don't blame the NFL. I blame the guys who take it too far, like Jalen Ramsey. People like Jalen Ramsey took it so far, they had to just be like, okay, no more. Because of idiots like Jalen Ramsey doing it every single play. It's kind of like the Fab Five in basketball. How do you think Brooks is doing so far? He seems fine. To We got to stop getting our linebackers in coverage against receivers. We got to stop putting Brooks and Wagner in coverage against Julio Jones. Like that can't happen, okay? That the touchdown that Julio almost scored in the back of the end zone was on Brooks. How do you feel about Trey Flowers' performance? It was whatever. Yeah, it shouldn't be a 15-yarder, but it is, so don't do it. Barton not good versus run. Did Barton play that much? I only saw Barton a few snaps. I don't think that he's the guy to get mad at right now. Hey, Tennessee Tactical. Welcome. Yeah, our defense has played an ungodly number of snaps these first two games. That's not good. That's a problem. That's another problem with bend don't break. Yeah, you prevent points, but you're still giving up like a 15 play drive. I don't think that's good either. Barton played, I think, 2 series over Brooks. Okay. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, some of these things can be fixed, but some of them can't. You can't really fix the Kyle Fuller problem. And in theory, you can fix um, the Carroll problem, but he's not going to change because he's been around for 800 years. Would you like us to see us be more aggressive, even if that means giving up more points? Situationally, yeah. Hey, Tucker. Yeah, all we did was go backwards. Oh, Lamar almost threw a pick. What's the difference between our defense right now and linebacker and LOB talent? Yeah, no interceptions through 2 games and only the one meaningful fumble on Tannehill. Like through 2 games, we basically forced one turnover, which is another issue with the bend don't break defense. You make it really easy for the other team to never turn the ball over. We didn't use our tight ends hardly at all, Spencer. That's definitely the case. Yeah, we got to try something interesting at center here because Fuller ain't it. And that's the kind of stuff that gives us trust issues with the when Carroll praises these guys. It's like he praises Kyle Fuller for being really good, and then Fuller does that. Diggs was whatever. I don't think he was bad. I don't think he was good. Diggs was just whatever. Not really doing a whole heck of a lot to earn the extension he wants, I must admit. Greg Olson say Pete was the issue? I don't remember that. I assume that's after he retired. That's quite something, if true. The problem is sometimes when we go against the typical Pete stuff, it goes wrong and it convinces him that he's right. Like last year, we did open up the offense some, but then it all went to crap in that Rams game and he decided, okay, no more. Now, he's an idiot for giving up on something after one or two bad games, but you give him an excuse to give up on it and he takes it. Okay, okay. Now the trolls are coming out. Now the spammers are coming out. Hold on, hold on. Okay, okay, okay. Hi. Da, 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 da. Does anybody click these links from these spam bots like ever? Has anyone in the history of the universe clicked on one of these links from these spamming accounts? Oh, Greg Olson said that he regretted choosing the Seahawks over the Bills. Well, the Bills made the AFC title game, so it could just be that. No, Washi, you've been a mod before. Touchdown, Lamar, and the Chiefs are going to get the ball back with 3.5 minutes left. I don't know, Mike Culp. It doesn't make any sense. Did we just feel like the Titans' defense was so bad we could just sleepwalk and win the game? But that doesn't even really make sense. No, I wouldn't be, Levi. I wouldn't be. I'd still be like, keep a drive going. What moves do you think we should make? There isn't a whole heck of a lot you can do other than bringing in Geno Atkins. And I would do that, but Geno Atkins is not Aaron Donald. Ian Brooks, I was surprised it got called back, but I can see why it was. Like, I don't know if it was right to call it back or not, but if you look at the replay, it's clear why it was called back, and it makes some degree of sense. Remember the Des Bryant play where he put his fingers down out of bounds as he was going to the ground against the Giants? I mean, stuff like that happens. It seemed everything was open in the middle of the field because we let it happen. Y'all need to cool it with the Trey Flowers stuff. He's not that bad. Chill out. Jeebus. Yeah, David. I forgot about that play after the game because I was irritated, but I remember that play and I thought to myself, I thought we were done with that kind of stuff. Like, where's the quick pass to the tight end that has a 95% chance of success? I mean, Flowers may not be good, but he's not the problem. Well, Sam Vith, in fairness, we weren't running the ball very effectively. I don't know if it was Carson. I don't know if it was the offensive line. I don't know what it was. I kind of get it, but we probably could have run the ball a little bit more than we did. Yeah, dropping defensive ends into coverage is that needs to stop. That needs to stop today, or we're gonna have a problem. But Emmett makes a good point. Even against the Colts, Wilson played differently, but a lot of his throws were still in his wheelhouse. So we haven't seen the massive amounts of change yet. We've seen some change, but not a lot. And we need to see some more. We need to see Wilson be a little more confident in some areas. Did Damian Lewis suck again? Well, he committed the stupid penalty. Other than that, I don't know. Other than that, I'm not sure. It seemed to me that Fuller was the guy who was the real problem. And some people were saying Shell was a problem. I'm not sure. Bobby Wagner did not have a franchise career night. PR explosion. He had a good game. He did not make any game changing plays that would have constituted saying that he had a career night. You think Russ leaves next offseason? Well, he can't leave. He would have to get traded. I think it's very possible. I've talked about this before, the real Michael. Maybe we decide to get rid of the staff and keep Wilson. I don't know. No, tackles are a deceiving stat, Dacian. Tackles are just tackles. They don't tell you anything about how somebody actually played. If he's making those tackles 20 yards down the field, then it's not doing anything good for you. What coach would you like to see paired with Russ? I don't know. Lincoln Riley? He did great things with Kyler Murray. Well, Trey Flowers didn't struggle. What's your obvious takes after today? Mine's about DK struggles and DL2. I mean, those would be pretty good ones. To me, the big thing for me is how we looked exactly like the Schottenheimer offense, though. That's the most annoying thing to me. Like, that should not happen. I understand we're using a lot of his stuff, but you should not be having a game like this where the offense is just dead. That's not okay. Kyle Fuller and Gabe Jackson allowed combined 10 pressures. Wow. I know Gabe Jackson switched position, but he's actually not had a great start to the season on the whole in summation. I mean, I don't have a problem with the offense struggling. I understand that's going to happen. That is what it is. The offense struggling is, I can understand that, but the offense looking exactly like it did under Schottenheimer is a problem. Yeah, I don't think Pete really offers that much at this point. I don't know what he offers at this point. Like, even the stuff that he does supposedly, I guess, you could say that he does manage to get a bunch of millionaires with low IQs to buy into a team concept for 6 months out of the year. But every coach does that somewhat. Yeah, Jamal gave was part of the problem on the Jamal kind of sort of got out of position on the Derrick Henry 60-yard run. He also had a penalty too that I don't know if it was that bad, but it wasn't great. Other than that, oh, are you kidding me? Did the Chiefs just blow this game? Oh my god. Wow. They were in field goal range already. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire is about to get prison loved in that locker room. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire is going to get a code red. I all I can say is that I have to believe that he's going to fix that he's going to get better as the weeks go by and he's not going to allow something like this to happen again. Maybe the defense will be bad again, but it won't be because of that. Yeah, David, I actually talked about that a little bit when the switch was announced. I said that if things aren't going well with it, then you got to go back the other way. Wow. So if the Ravens get a first down, game's basically over, huh? Ravens up by one, and they just got the ball back. Chiefs have all three timeouts, though. It's not over. I don't know why he would, Green Earth. I don't know why he would need to. Do you think we need a rebuild? If this year does not go well, then yes. Okay. Lamar for 1 yard. Like, we played a good game last week against the Colts. 28 points, pretty clean, pretty efficient. Why you gonna switch? Why you gonna take away play calling from your offensive coordinator who you hired? If this year does not go well, I think we might rebuild, and maybe it'll be time. Sometimes you got to do that. Well, yeah, nolanrvance, he said that. That doesn't mean he's always going to do it. Yeah, if you rebuild, you got to say goodbye to everything. If you rebuild, you lose everything. That's what a rebuild is. But maybe you have to do that. Some point we're going to have to do that. It might be this year, next year, the year after. I don't know. But if you don't have to do it, then don't do it. Do it if you're in order to rebuild, you have to be very confident that what you have right now is not good enough. I don't think we can say that with any certainty yet. Wow, Ravens actually threw a pass. I mean, it worked out. They're still punting, but the clock keeps moving. Well, the Chiefs call a timeout, but no, Hazik. If we rebuild, I think Pete retires. That's what I'm saying. I think we lose everything. I think we lose Carroll. I think we lose Schneider. I think we lose Wilson, Wagner, Jamal Adams, maybe Metcalf. You might lose everything, but sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you just have to do that. It sucks, but I promise you, every team has to do it at some point. And the teams that need to do it but can't admit it are the teams that really, ooh, Lamar first down, that's ball game. Ryan, stop spamming the comment. Ryan, stop it. Okay. Carroll would have punted for that 4th and 1. Okay, guys, game over. Ravens win. Great game, actually. Doesn't really help me get in a better mood after earlier. But thank you, everybody, for coming out. We streamed for almost 2 hours. I'm going to say once again before we end, please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. If you want to send in any tips before we end the stream, you've got a couple minutes to do so. I am probably going to hop on Dead by Daylight in a few minutes here with snacks. But you guys can continue to come and talk to me a little bit there if you want to. But in terms of this post-game stream, I am done. Thank you to everybody who showed up. And hope for better things next week. Today was not fun. Today sucked. I have very little positive to say. But that's what happens when you root for a team. Not everything goes perfectly. Okay, no problem, Green Earth. I wasn't expecting it. I know you can only play on Fridays. Tyler, it's going to be on this channel. It's going to be on this channel. I don't go to another channel to game right now. All right. See you guys in a couple of minutes. Just give me some time to set up, and I'll be ready to go.